Greetings. This is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with my good demonic friend Andras. Very interesting spirit, and I find that he comes up a lot in many things that I do. And I shit you not, there's an owl across the street hooting. Yeah, awesome. Andras is a very, what's the word? I don't even think chaotic begins to cover it. He's a wild spirit, really. The energy is quite uncontrollable. Anyway, there's a word that's similar to chaotic. I'm a bit distracted, so it's hard to focus on that. But he's a spirit that has a lot of raw power. He's not as refined as some of the other spirits. And what I'm starting to learn from my research is that the higher rank a spirit is, it sounds as if their power is a little bit more refined. And the lower their rank, the more raw and less easy it is to control. Right, we're talking about the kings, down to the princes, you know what I'm saying, down to the dukes and the marquises and all that stuff. Alright, now this 61st spirit, I believe, happens to be a marquise. Hot stuff, Starbucks. Anyways, because the power is so unrefined, it seems a little bit more difficult to direct. Okay. One of the things that the Goetia says about Andras is that the magician must take care to, to take caution when summoning this spirit, because Andras is known to slay the magician and the magician's friends and families, or whatever, the sorcerers, contemporaries, if the magician is not careful. Now, see, of course, that doesn't mean literal. It's symbolic, all right? This raw energy that we call Andras is very hard to pinpoint and direct in a single direction. The whole thing is, when you evoke this spirit, be prepared, all right? His main descriptive key word is discord. So be prepared to have some of that discord roll over into your own life and to the lives of a few people around you. Now, the effect isn't going to be as negative on you as it is your target. They're going to feel it the most, but there will be backlash. All right. It almost seems that the spirit, the energy that we call Andras, is not exactly a respecter of persons. Right? He's learned, I suppose, that he's gonna do what the fuck he wants. Or that's just the nature of this energy. Like fire, right? We can control fire to a degree, but it is not difficult for fire to become a hazard. I'm talking about even smoking a cigarette carelessly can burn down your house. I think that what I find to be most interesting is that the energy of Andras is nothing at all like my own personality, right? For the most part, I seek peace. I seek harmony, right? I seek to bring people together on the same page, even so-called enemies, right? To bring everybody together so we can mutually work towards a common goal. As noble as that sounds, that can often be a weakness, because there are people who prey on those who choose not to fight. And in those cases, it's where the energy of a spirit like Andras comes into play. Now, Andras works quickly. I mean, each time I've had to use him seriously, he works that same day. Chaos and discord. Right? And not only that. See, I believe that Andras is probably one of the few goetic spirits that I really got deeply in tune with, right? To the point where I begin to break down and decipher his 30 legions, okay? And his 30 legions are broken into 3 families. I believe I discussed this on a previous video entitled Evoking Magus and Andras. But anyways, the 3 families of his 30 legions deal with different types of discord, right? One for the body, one for the spirit, and one for, in this day and age, the electronic devices that one may use to help them through the day. That's your phone, that's your computer, that's your car, you know what I'm saying? Any tool that you're using. I imagine in the old days he probably killed people's horses and cattle and broke their sticks and stuff. But anyway, what I find interesting is that the type of spirit he is definitely not in my personality type. So usually, when I begin to see the effects of the spell happening on the person that it was directed towards, I start to feel like, okay, I guess the person's had enough. Let me call it off. And that's the whole pacifist side. But luckily, Andras doesn't work that way. I know if I told him to stop today, the effects would linger on, at least for 2 more months. Right. It is possible to clean up after, but it's very difficult. Unless you're the type like me that's going to stay up all night, study and research exactly how to do something, I'd really recommend you don't evoke this spirit and direct him towards anybody or anything. Maybe just to get some information, but you know what I'm saying, I'd be careful, right? I would have protection in place. Now, I don't mean protection like to protect you from the evocation. I mean protection to kind of make sure that he doesn't, or this energy doesn't affect other people around you that you don't want it to affect, right? Go ahead and study the angels that are associated with Andras in the Shemham Mepharash. Okay, now see, you got to kind of understand that this energy it's like electricity. It operates based on polarity. It's like more like acid and base. All right. If the demonic spirits are acid, then the angelic spirits are base. And to get a neutral pH, you have to kind of combine equal parts. So that's why it's important to at least know the name and the sigil of the angel that corresponds with Andras. So when things do get kind of haywire, you can temper the effects by asking the angel for assistance. Andras is full of rage. No, I take that back. See, it's not like human rage, okay? These entities are not like people, okay? They are pure energy, an energy that can be ascribed a personality. And to me, Andras is like a sociopath, a psychopath. I can't even really compare it to anybody. Maybe Christian Bale from American Psycho. Maybe, but not quite. Because he delights in causing pain, Andras, the energy. But he's not smiling about it. He's not laughing maniacally like the Joker. He's very calm. Very calm. Very steady with his tone of voice. If you were to just speak to him, you wouldn't really pick up from his voice that he enjoys hurting. But in channels with him, I really do get his viewpoint on other human beings, especially those who don't work to develop the light within them. I noticed this with Belial as well. He has a low opinion for humans who don't work on their spiritual progress. You know, he considers them almost as good as animals. But anyways, the best way that Andras described to me how he works so effectively, it's as if, you know, like a human being, and we talk of sex, you know, and everyone has a fetish. When you are stimulated by that specific fetish, and you have a type of orgasm that is very powerful because it's exactly what you like. See, the spirit or energy that corresponds with Andras feels this way about causing discord and torture in a human soul. To cause so much anguish in the directed person gives him, a very heightened state. I would say very close to orgasm, if not the same thing for spirit. So, to me, I believe that's why it's so difficult to get him off, right? To stop him from what he's doing, to cancel it. Because it's what he exists for. It's exactly what he exists for, and he likes to exist. It's a little bit scary talking to this spirit, right? And I don't really get scared by much. I think what happens, at least in my past experience, is that it hit very close to home. And the energy began to trickle off into other lives, and that just wasn't cool. So I had to pull out the big guns. Hopefully I won't have to do that again, but we'll see. It's been about a year since I first summoned Andras. So this is kind of like our 1-year anniversary. But, yeah, I really should sit down and write something about him and his 30 legions. I find that when I focus specifically on the legions and the soldiers that are within those legions, the effects seem to be even more precise, right? Man, oh man. This is pretty cool. Owlface. That's my nickname for him. And he doesn't mind it much. He doesn't care. He just wants to be fed. But I can't stress enough my warning to other evocators. Be careful with the spirit. Even a little bit of discord, even a little smidgen of Andras will be hard to completely neutralize. So make sure you are thinking in advance of how you're going to wrap the whole situation up dealing with the spirit. I'm not saying don't evoke him. I'm saying he's not for beginners. And he's not for people who start projects and don't finish them. Because I can imagine this dude running amok for as long as you'll let him. And according to the original Goetia, something like that has apparently ended up back upon the original sorcerer, the original magician. So take care. Do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. This is just my experience with this current of energy. But yeah, key takeaways. It really seems like the higher the rank, the goetic spirit, the more refined the energy is. The lower the rank, the more raw the energy. That doesn't necessarily mean more powerful. For example, Andras is a Marquis. His rank is kind of low, but the raw nature of his power is hard to control, but very effective in what he does. Whereas, say, somebody like King Payman is very polished, very refined, right? Very respectable, right? But just as powerful in what he does, right? He whispers in your ear all the time. Probably when you do put in your heart to go forth and experiment and experience the goetic spirits, you're probably hearing King Payman's voice or Asmodee's voice guiding you through the process. Those two seem to be very key in my development so far. And I found that there's even a few that don't even really speak in words, right? More like Person and Zagan. They seem to be more energetic. Maybe they don't feel the need to learn human language. But in any case, do your own experiments. This is TKTRAV, aka Travis Magus, here with LVX777, and I wish you peace.